Hello and welcome to the Black Dog Podcast, episode number 361.
A little bit more of a rounded episode than the last.
Yes, more of an egg shape.
Yeah.
This time.
Slightly.
But we've just gone just slightly over the edge.
Elliptical.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome.
You're saying elliptical is more rounder than a round thing, Darren?
No, it's slightly out.
It's when you overshoot a bit.
Yeah.
You go round and you kind of overshoot and you go off a bit.
Right.
It's like,
You know, like when you put a marble in a balloon and then spin it. Is that
No,
just
I
me?
don't.
Is
No,
that just,
never
that's
done
just
that.
me.
why would you put a marble in the balloon?
Why not? Why haven't you been putting a marble in a balloon? Why am I the strange one here? Have you never put a marble in a balloon before?
I think I need to reevaluate my life choices.
Nick, when Christmas comes around, you get the balloons out, right? Just stop for a minute and go, I'm going to put a marble
Where are
in this
the
balloon.
marbles?
And I'm just going to spin it like this. And you look at the joy you get out of looking at that. I'll tell you that now.
Joy you get.
Put it on time-lapse photography, right? Or that slow photography and just watch it go round and see it. Make that little,
Loop.
shape in the thing. Yeah.
Welcome to episode
Feeling
300.
that there's a face for this as well. You don't remember the I love tables face?
Yeah, there is. I love plates. I fucking love this dishcloth.
I
Yeah.
love this dishcloth.
I fucking love this dishcloth face. Yeah, there is. It also comes with this kind of hand gesture.
Okay, we'll have a guess, right?
Right.
What have I got in this bag? Try and guess what I've
A
got in this
balloon
bag.
full of marbles.
No. What have I got? What have I got in this bag? This very co-op bag.
Is it?
Cow on a rope?
Yeah.
No.
Is it another one of Ree's foamers?
No, it's nothing to do with Ree.
Okay. What is it then?
You're not going to take
Okay, I'll take a guess. Okay, a small fish.
No.
A picture of Betty White in a nude.
No.
Jaffa cakes.
No. I'll give you a clue.
Yeah,
It has the same name
yeah.
as a film starring Phil Collins.
Buster.
Yes, correct. That's what I've got here. Not the film Buster, but the sink-unk blocking Buster.
What?
I'm going to bring something strange every week, I think. I'm going to have it in a plastic bag and say, what's Darren got in his bag this week? What's in the bag, Darren?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, he's just pulled out what looks like a big black bottle that says Buster on the side of it, and
It's got the word plug hole.
with a picture of a plug hole, and then it's got right at the very top, which is most disturbing, a sign that says
Hair gone today.
Hair today, gone tomorrow.
Plug wasn't in Buster, he was in the Beano.
Yeah, he was one of the best street kids.
There we go. More another mystery next week, ladies and gentlemen.
I just want to know why you've got so much hair down your plug hole that you need to have a Buster.
That is for me to know and you not to. Moving on swiftly, nothing to see here.
Sorry, what was that, Jim?
He's a drain weasel.
He's a drain weasel. Drain ferret. Have you
What
been-
I do on my weekends when I'm not on this podcast is entirely my business and none of yours.
have you been shaving?
Have
for
I
the
been
ladies?
weaseling my drain?
Have you been?
That would be telling.
Have you been dealing? Have you been dealing with the bush around the lamppost now?
The bush around the lamppost? No, I haven't. No,
No,
that was
You
a few
sure?
weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're not.
No.
We're not. You're not dealing chemically with the aftermath of.
No, I am not scaping of the male variety.
No,
No,
no.
no,
Mincher?
no. Minjer. I flew with them once. Yeah, really shit. It really was.
No. He was part of Ultravox, wasn't he?
Made me feel like a right cunt. But there you go.
Mincher. If I was a better man.
At least I did a David Bowie.
Yeah, David Bowie. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to 361. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Elton.
Yes, Jim. We have a full complement. He's back from the land down under.
Yes, I am indeed.
He corks in his hair and everything.
Is it? Do women flow and men plunder? In the land down under?
You're pirates.
Could you hear the thunder?
You better run. You better take cover.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. Did he run and did he take cover?
Yeah. I don't know. We will find out.
Did he have cover? Did he have good insurance cover?
What?
Travel insurance?
What?
Yes? No?
What?
Okay.
What? Okay, well, we'll see how his week has been, his fortnight, month, whatever, down under.
I'm very interested in the travel insurance.
Why?
Just am.
Is this because you're going on holiday for the first time in about 30,000 years again?
I might be going away, but it won't be on holiday.
Okay.
Not at this rate.
Not at this rate. Okay. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out how everyone's weeks, months, years been. We'll go around the table, and then after that, we'll be going to our film this week, which is Lake Placid. That, by the way, if anyone's in anticipation of a shitty superheroes reappearing, don't worry, it's not going to happen. It was just a one-off. It was just a one-off. Or was it?
No need to write in.
Yes, yeah. Or was it? Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, so, so let's kick this off. Let's kick off this episode with Jim. We'll find out exactly how his trip down under has been. But before we do, allow me to just set the scene. Let's just get some.
Once a jolly swagman camped by a billabong under the shade of a coolabah tree.
And what did he say, Jim?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, there you go. Anyway, how was your week, sir? How was your time away?
It was very nice considering the circumstances.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Which weren't, obviously not the ideal thing. But it was a good trip away. It was nice. First time I've been to Australia, and what a marvellous country it really is.
Isn't it?
Even though although we did cover, I don't know, a good 1,000 kilometres or something while there, flitting between places.
Yeah.
That's where Teresa's mum lives, is fairly remote, as a lot of Australia is.
Yeah.
But even so, when you look at the map, going, I didn't really see that much of it. It's a very big country, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The weather was good, and the people were lovely. They have top-class biscuits.
Definitely.
You can get good tea and good coffee. And the television doesn't give you instant brain rot. So, all in all, a thumbs up. And obviously, the Australian people are just generally just wonderful.
Yeah.
Very friendly, very funny, always up for a bit of banter. Looking forward to going back at some point.
Yeah.
Probably not in the near future, as I suspect I might be staying in for the rest of the year. Just paying for this trip. But,
yeah.
Knees must when the devil drives, as it were.
Yeah, yeah. Apropos of nothing, your Patreon is...
But, yes, didn't see any killer spiders.
No.
It's tall, not snakes or any over-enthusiastic wildlife presenters being killed by stingray.
Oh, man.
We did nearly run down an emu or two.
Oh,
who aren't birds with the greatest of road sense, it appears.
No.
While driving through the wilds of Western Australia, we did have one day, it was like a 7-hour drive. I have to say, kind of, Australia probably is one of the few places where you can live the dream / utter lie of car adverts, where it's just you, the landscape, and thousands of miles of black tarmac draped like a shoelace across rolling hills.
Nice.
Which did lead us to invent a travel game called a Kanga Van.
Oh,
you have two teams. One play roos, one play caravans, and you score a point if you see a caravan driving on the road, not parked up. And the other team, the roos, score a point for every dead roo you see killed on the road.
Nice. So you've either got dead roos or murdered tourists.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I really want to go to Australia now.
Yeah, there you go.
Is the kangaroo the equivalent of the hedgehog over here?
Yeah.
No. Probably closer to the rabbit, I'd say.
Closer to the fox in terms of actual ubiquity.
Except neither of those three animals will give you a fucking punch in the teeth.
They won't nick your sugar puffs.
Yeah.
Won't mug you for sugar puffs, which I have experienced firsthand. Yeah. I'm sure I said this on the cast years ago when I came back from Australia last time. When you go to one of these wildlife places that has like you can hand feed the roos.
Yeah.
And so they give you like a bag of sugar puffs.
Oh.
And so you go out there and you're handing out the sugar puffs, and then all of a sudden there's all these little roos who are kind of like, I don't know, sort of shoulder height.
Yeah.
And then this one big fucker comes right up to me, and he's my height. And he's literally my height. And all he did was he just looked at me, he didn't do anything other than just grab my hand with the bag of sugar puffs while two others came in from the side and nicked the sugar puffs and fucked off.
Wow, they're like velociraptors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you go, clever girl?
Clever girl.
It's very like velociraptors, I understand. There's a chosen methods of attack is actually grab you around the shoulders, lean back on their tail, and then disembowel you with the hind feet.
That's
just like
right.
a velociraptor.
Yeah, lean back and kick you in the nuts with with their feet. Yeah. Luckily, this guy didn't. I mean, he was big though. He was definitely. Yeah, it's a bit tasty. I wasn't. It was like you can have the fucking sugar puffs. Off you go, mate. I'll get you a box if you like. Give me a second. I'll come back.
Do you want anything else while I'm there?
Yeah, do you want an ice cream?
Sausage roll?
Tim Tam?
Tim Tam. Oh, Tim Tams. Oh, iced Fovos, Tim Tams. Oh, Monte Carlos.
Say, a truly great country with truly great biscuits.
Yeah, tell me about it. Oh, yeah. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, but we did actually see live kangaroos.
Oh, yeah.
Kangaroos on a beach.
On a beach.
On a beach.
Right.
Sounds like a Samuel L. Jackson film, that does.
Yeah. I've had enough of these motherfucking kangaroos on my motherfucking beach. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, being fed by visitors to said beach. I mean, these obviously have got the measure of people completely. As, one guy's literally parked up in his ute, because nearly everyone has a ute in Australia. When could you fucking need one? Like the twats round here have a 4x4 to go to fucking IKEA. Anyhow. But he sat there in his ute, two kangaroos by the car door, not unlike the guys who do squeegee washing, being fed. And the best thing, parked right next to a sign saying, "Do not feed the kangaroos." That's
it. While one of them was nicking his tyres.
I think there was a third one. I think he was emptying the boot. So.
Nice.
But yeah, so that was very cool. So yeah, it was a good trip away. It's funny actually being away that long. That's the longest. I said just under a month, but with travelling days, 2 days travel either side, as it were. So
yeah,
you come back and kind of find the garden's entirely overgrown. It's kind of this was bare and completely weeded when I left. There's now a small tree growing in the back. Where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah, it's Minecraft writ large.
Yes. Fucking hell.
Yeah, hold on. I last time I logged on, I didn't have any trees. Now the whole place is like a forest. What's the fuck's going on? Yeah. Anyway, cool. Anything else, sir, or anything of note? Do you wanna?
Not that I can particularly think of.
No, fair enough. Cool. Okie dokie. Well, then we shall move on to Mr. Elton. How are you, sir?
Right. How the hell am I going to compete with that? I have got no chance whatsoever.
Yeah. Did you see any kangaroos in Yeldham?
No. It was just little birds tits, may I say. Tits all over my nuts.
Welcome to Essex.
I heard it's been warm over here.
Yes.
Just really gardening.
No more gardening.
No, we're not going down that road. Don't worry. Okay, I watched the very first episode of Happy again.
Oh yes.
And watched the very first episode of Altered Carbon.
Okay.
And I will be watching Altered Carbon. I don't think I'll be watching Happy.
Oh,
really?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've got to say, that's a complete flip for me, because I watched one episode of Altered Carbon and kind of never gone back since. Well, finished Happy, though, no problem.
Well, okay, a couple of weeks ago, before Deadpool 2 came out, I watched Deadpool again, just to see where I stood on it, if I liked it or not. Yeah, I do still like it, but I feel that is as much way over the top, utter batshit crazy type stuff I can take in one hit. And an hour of Happy was, okay, that's enough for today. And maybe in a couple of weeks' time, I'll go back and get some more batshit crazy, antics. I don't need it that much. It's too much for me. So, I think I'm going to be sticking with Altered Carbon, because I like the world that they're building. It looks really cool. It is very reminiscent of Blade Runner. And I like the aesthetics of Blade Runner, so that's all cool with me. So I'm looking forward to where that takes me now.
Well, it's not surprising, because they are all the models from Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, are they? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's made by the same company in terms of visual effects, and because they were being cheap, Netflix were being cheap, they were just using the same models, just turning them around. There you go. Fact, fans.
Just mirror versions of it.
No, literally, like they built the models like 360 degrees. For the film, and so you'd see them all from one angle in the film, and then in Altered Carbon, all they did was just turn them around and just change the icons and the decals and the luminous stuff.
It's like Sleepless in Seattle, just on the other side.
Yeah, that's it. Nice. So anyway, so you're watching more. You're going to be watching Altered Carbon and not Happy. That's fair enough.
Yeah. I think that's more to my taste. It's a little slower paced, whereas Happy, it was good, don't get me wrong, but it was just I don't think I can observe. Imagine Happy was a big cup of tea and I was a big custard cream, and all of a sudden halfway through I just went fell into it and just disintegrated. So it was just too much for me to absorb at that time. I might go back there and watch it again later, but at the moment, it's not for me.
That's a beautiful metaphor. They should have sent a poet, but man, that was beautiful. You are the custard cream in the big mug of tea of life.
There you go.
That's it.
Too much for me to absorb.
Fair enough.
And have a habit of disintegrating.
Falling apart.
Yeah.
Falling apart and just plopping down. Okay. Anything else, sir?
Then I'm dragged out with a teaspoon at the very end.
Yeah, slurped up.
There's always that one little bit you forget.
Yeah, that you always catch at the bottom, in the bottom dregs.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else, sir?
No, I'll leave it like that.
Fair enough. Okie dokie. Well, then over to you, Mr. Barnard. How was your week, sir? Now that we know that you've been manscaping and need to unblock your sink.
No, I nothing really that much happened. I did go to the cinema this week.
Yes.
Yeah, I went to see Jurassic World 2.
Oh, yes, and?
It was okay, nothing outstanding. It was good. I enjoyed it. I felt entertained by the end of it, but it's there's that whole thing of doing what they did in the last one, which is we've got this new dinosaur that we've created out of these bits and bobs we had left from all these other dinosaurs.
Yeah,
and they do the same
again
for this, but what they actually do this time with this dinosaur is they create a serial killer.
Nice.
It's literally like that. It's the whole thing itself. Most of the film, about 95% of it, is not set in the actual park. It's set within.
I've heard that. It's
set
like a mansion.
Yeah, like a complex, a mansion. Which then is like, stalking
Clutosaurus Rex.
Clutosaurus. Yeah, it's the Professor Plumosaurus.
Professor Plumosaurus. So it's like as if it wasn't bad enough that they tried to make a more sort of powerful, sneaky sort of T-Rex last time. This time they thought, you know what? How about
down.
How about we get T-Rex and we mix it with the Velociraptor. So, because that's not going to go wrong at all, is it?
Nice.
Yeah.
No.
And so they create, they're trying to create a killing machine with this, as in like something they can sell off for military purposes to actually obey orders, go in and find a target. And
you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of a book by Dinar Kuntz called Watchers.
It certainly does. But, yeah, it's the way they actually guide the dinosaur to its target.
Yeah,
how they get it to go for it, which is kind of a little bit more. It's a step up, a little bit more techier.
Well, I was going to say because in the Kuntz book they actually had a retriever.
Yeah, it was a retriever and this
killer ape thing. Wasn't it?
It was a genetically altered baboon.
Yeah.
And I always remember that one scene in the book where you've got the bloke who's in his house and he thinks there's something not quite right, and he goes and stands by his patio window, and then they describe this thing just bolting across the fucking lawn at him, and it's like, it's so quick he doesn't know what to do. He's just kind of
he gets an after image on his
exactly. That's it.
That was a good book.
There is they quite a bit in the trailer is in the film.
Yeah.
You see, now I look for that in films these days. How much of the trailer is actually in the movie itself?
Yeah.
And the bit where you see in the trailer, you see the big dinosaur hand go slowly across the child's bed, reaching towards the child sitting up.
Yeah.
That's all there.
A nod to Nosferatu, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. So it does have quite creepy hands. But something I did actually notice about this is the lack of blood in this.
There wasn't much in the last one, to be honest.
No, but there's literally none. Somebody gets their arm bitten off and there's no blood.
Oh, right.
You don't see any blood at all. It's like, okay, you're engineering this so more kids can come in and watch it.
But we're going to scare you shitless by saying the monsters can now come in your house.
Yeah, exactly. This is it now. These things the fuckers can open doors. They can cook up a meal for you if you want it.
Do your plumbing.
Exactly. They'll do your taxis as well. They'll make a fine model of the Taj Mahal out of blancmange if you want it. It's that intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was all right, but it's you can see they're opening it up now to go even bigger next time.
Truly Jurassic World.
Truly Jurassic World. Apparently, the next one is going to be the last one they're doing.
Bollocks. Bullshit.
From what they say, anyway.
The last one made about $1.5 billion. This one's already on track to do exactly the same, and it's only been out a week.
Yeah.
Bullshit. It's my call. On
they're
that one.
Not turning down $1 billion again, are they?
Yeah. No. Excuse me. You can make one more film that's only $1 billion.
Yeah.
Or you can make as many films as you like and earn $1 billion. Let me think. No. Bulls.
Okay, well, stupid person award in that film goes to the technician. Yeah. What's it? As they come back to this park that's all been run down and sort of like had the shit kicked out of it by all the dinosaurs after the last film that happened, there's a technician who's trying to, I think he's trying to close the sea gates so that nothing gets out, make sure that they stay shut.
Yeah.
And the soldiers on the plane are literally standing there, "There's a fucking monster behind you, you stupid twat!" And he's like, "What? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
It's behind you."
They're pointing and stuff like this. And he's like, Nope, I'm sorry, I've got nothing. Nope. oh, he's been hot. It's just clamp.
Eunice Stubbs and Lionel Blair.
He's behind me, isn't he?
2 words.
Yeah, you stupid fucking cunt. He's right fucking there. So,
yeah,
like I say, it was all right. It wasn't anything special. It's still not better than the first ever one, of course.
But was it better than the first Jurassic World?
I would say it was kind of on par with that.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. That's fair enough. Cool. So
but, it's all about franchises these days, isn't it? You know, you've got to shit out another film, maybe every 1 to 2 years for a certain franchise, which needs nicely
into my week.
Your week.
My week. Well done, thank you. Smooth handover.
Thank you.
We will eventually end up on radio. No idea what radio station, but that was a good move. That was a good link.
Thank you.
Okay, my week. Well, first off, general family thing. Strawberry picking was quite cool. Went strawberry picking. That was good. And that's about the size of it for this week. Except I went to see Solo.
And
okay, there's 2 ways of looking at this. One, it's more like the old Star Wars than Last Jedi.
Okay.
The other way of looking at it, which is the way I was looking at it, is not away from the Star Wars thing, just looking at it like a film. It's fucking boring.
Really?
It is utterly tedious. There is not a single moment, event, or person in it where I was like rooting for them, excited, or even remotely interested. I went to see it with Sarah, Lucky Minty.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was sitting beside me. I turned to look to see if she was enjoying it, because I was like half willing to get up and fuck off.
Yeah.
And she actually fell asleep.
Oh no.
She had a little nap. Nap. Now, I watched it, and I was about 40 minutes in, and I thought, this is just checkboxing. It literally is just checkboxing. Want to know how he meets Chewie? Check. Want to know how he gets the Falcon? Check. Want to see him meet Lando? Check. Want to see him join the Empire? Check. Want to see him leave the Empire? Check. And it all happens in like 40 minutes. And then you're like, bang, 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 bang. Right, fine. Give me the story now. Let's have the story. And do you want to know the general story? The general story.
Okay, nothing too spoilery.
Okay.
Of course.
He is trying to make his way in the universe. Corellia is basically a building site for spaceships.
Right.
And everyone is either a slave or a slave owner.
Got you.
So he wants to get away. He tries to get away, and in doing so, leaves his girl behind.
Right.
So you think the plot is that's it. That's his whole thing for being. The whole film is he's coming back for his girl. He's got to work his way up through the ranks of the Empire or whatever and get to be a pilot so he can come back and rescue her. That plot stops and fucks off at about 35 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that just disappears. It's like...
Is that when Ron Howard steps in?
I don't know. But it's just like... it's hard to tell, because when Ron Howard does a film that Ron Howard's just kind of cruising, you end up with things like... was it Angels and Demons and fucking Da Vinci Code, where you're just sitting there going... When he cares, you get like the Beatles documentary that he recently did, or Rush, or that sort of thing.
Mm.
But otherwise, you get things like Heart of the Sea, where you're like...
Oh, no.
And it's that Ron Howard that's turned up.
Oh,
that Ron Howard turned up. The Da Vinci Code Ron Howard has turned up. Because nothing is exciting, but the music is telling you it is. The music's by John Powell, who did How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
So the music on its own is fine, but when you're watching it with the action on the screen, you're like, I'm not really getting this. This is a guy trying to get through customs, and the music's going. You're like, he's in a queue. what the fuck? Da, 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 da. You're like, yeah, he's just moved up a couple of lines. He's got his fucking passport out. You know, like, oh, for God's sakes.
I saw something on, I can't remember who it was now, but I think it was two comedians. They were trying to go somewhere. And this is like, filming them just going about their day, you know. And they get stuck in a traffic jam, right? And they suddenly, they're like, sit there all bored, and it suddenly pans to outside the car, and suddenly Ace of Spades kicks in, right?
Yeah.
And they speed the film up, but you don't really see the car moving at all. It goes back to the inside, boring, outside again, Ace of Spades.
Yeah, that is pretty much Solo in a nutshell. Right. There is stuff in there that, I mean, they explain every mortal thing that you could possibly imagine from New Hope or Empire that Solo has been involved in, whether it was a line he said, whether it's a thing he picked up, whether it's a thing he looked at, whether it's a piece of clothing he's wearing.
So you're telling me the scruffy nerf herder's in there as well? Are we getting a scruffy nerf herder spin-off movie?
Well, no, but she Emilia Clarke, who is, let's be honest, a balsa wood. She's utter balsa wood. She has a delivery like this. Hello, Han. I've come to rescue you. Yes, let's go get this stuff for this guy. It will be great. Yes, I love you, Han. Smooch, smooch. Yes, thank you. I'm Mother of Dragons. I'm going to go over here. Amelia Bot 5000 shutting down. I mean, it's just... it's like, fucking hell, fire. The Falcon... The way they... You've seen the Falcon, right? From the trailers.
I know that...
All shiny and new, right?
Yeah, I know it's got a strap on.
What they have to do to get it to the Falcon at the point where you know it from New Hope...
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, come off it. I mean, we go from shiny and new to New Hope Falcon in one scene. And you're just like...
Is it... It goes from... like, a marvellous watercolour to Jackson Pollock.
It's more like someone just bought themselves a Bugatti Veyron and then just drove it. Just drove it into a rubbish tip, and then just like came out the other side with a ton of shit in the boot, and there's like bananas on the upholstery, and they're like,
oh, great,
wow, But everything in it, you just think,
don't go on there with the black light.
Why? Yeah. It's like, this place is just light up. But that's the thing. There's no engagement, and all the stuff you see, you just think, right, okay, now I've seen that. They get to explaining even things like, and again, this is not spoilers. This is just giving you examples, like his surname, like Han shoots first. Like fucking parsecs, everything. You name it, they'll explain it.
Wow.
It literally is. It literally is the adventure movie version of like Scary Movie, where they sort of like, it's not funny. It's just, you remember this thing, the movie. That's it. It's you remember this thing, the movie. Alden Ehrenreich tries his best to be Han Solo. But he ain't Han Solo. He just simply is not Han Solo.
Right. How did you find Donald Glover?
He was all right, but again, he was doing an impression. There were moments when you're not hearing him, and I could have sworn all they did was just get Billy D. Williams to voice over it, because it was like, it literally sounds like, when they got him to do the Family Guy, welcome to the cool side of the pillow, kind of thing. And so it sounds like an actual impression. It doesn't sound like he's acting. It sounds like he's doing an impression. And then, and then there's the robot L3, played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and literally she's one note, and she turns up, and the first thing she says is, "Equal rights for droids." And that seems to be her entire thing. Equal rights. Get out of my chair, meatbag. You presumptuous meatbag. I'm a robot. I've got rights. We've got rights. And it's just like, it does lead to an interesting sequence at the end. But even then, it's still,
Speaking of which, are there any post-credit scenes?
No. And even if there was, I didn't see them because I fucked off.
Right.
But they leave you with an almighty moment where you just go, if you don't know, if you haven't seen certain parts of the Star Wars universe, and by this I mean things like the cartoons, or the extended universe books, right? If you just follow by films, you will sit and watch the last 10 minutes and go, what the fuck? Literally, you will go, what the fuck? Why am I looking at that right now? Why?
Okay.
I'm not telling you what it is.
No.
But it definitely is one of those things of, it's kind of weird film because it inhabits a scene where you kind of like going, this is fan film. This is total fan wank.
Yeah.
Even down to like, why has he got the holster belt that holds his gun?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Why has he got the gun?
To the left.
Yeah, why does he dress to the left? Exactly. Why has Lando got so many capes? All these.
Which hand does he wipe his ass with?
I think that's about the only thing they don't cover.
Really? Oh, that's the sequel then.
Yeah.
There you go.
But literally, you just sit there going, this isn't a story. The story ended 30 minutes ago. I'm now watching an hour and a half of fan wanks. I'm literally watching Wikipedia, the movie.
Solo for dummies.
It is.
Yeah. Right.
He said he did the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. Well, parsecs are a measure of distance, not time. So we've explained it in this film. It's just like, what? Why? I don't care. Why are you bothering?
I'm so looking forward to find out what happened to that stormtrooper who ran through the Death Star and hit his head on the door frame. I'll take it that's the next one.
That's haven't you seen?
He's getting his own movie.
Yeah, he's getting. But that's Snoke. Have you seen that mark on his head?
Oh, there you go. That's where he came from.
The big fucking mark across his head.
Oh, I'm so glad he did well for himself in the end.
He didn't do bad in the end.
He got a pension and everything,
But
health cover.
But the biggest crime of this film isn't it's bad. It's not badly made. You can't say that. But what it is fucking tedious. Absolutely tedious, superfluous, and just there is absolutely no need for it. It could have been Han Solo as a pirate doing his thing, having an adventure. That's fine. But what it was literally the cliff notes to Han Solo before you watch New Hope. That's all it really was.
Oh,
explaining shit you didn't need to know.
Okay.
Oh, plus about 1 trillion fucking prop nods and winks to Harrison Ford movies in one room. There's just one room, and it's not even like plot points. It's just like one room where there's one character in there. They all walk into it, and it's got all these trinkets and artifacts and everything. And there's like the golden statue from Raiders that he picks up at the beginning with a bag of sand. There's a crystal skull on a bollard. There's all that kind of.
Is there a bullwhip by any chance?
Yep.
Oh. Does that have his scowl from Cowboys and Aliens?
And probably. But yeah, there's this room just full of shit like that.
Does it have like an Amish hat from Witness?
Yeah, it's got a fully built barn and a grain silo with a dead Danny Glover floating in it.
A raft from the Mosquito Coast.
Yeah, exactly. And an Air Force One parked up the back with its nose in the ground. But anyway, yeah. But it's just colossally fucking dull movie. It really is.
Okay.
I mean, people are saying they're liking it, but what makes me laugh is everyone's saying they're liking it, and that's perfectly fine if they do. But everyone sort of caveats that response almost immediately with, I went in with low expectations. It's like, well...
I'm going to go in with very low expectations now.
Yeah.
I've postponed it for another week.
Yeah, I thought you were going tomorrow.
Yeah. No, I've got to do something much more important. I've got to go fix a wardrobe. So you know,
right, okay.
So let's see. What do I do? See Solo, fix a wardrobe. Think I better go fix a wardrobe.
Unblock a sink with
I've got a sink to unblock.
I would.
Yeah,
I would definitely do that in favour of watching Solo.
Got me nads to shave. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, nice. Good.
Got some scaping to do.
Good talking to you. Let's move on. But yeah, I thought it was tedious. It was tedious fucking film. And then once everyone's seen it, or people who don't care anymore, I'll open up with some of the points, because I as soon as I went on Facebook, I went, it's a fucking boring film. People were going, yeah, what about this? And it's like, that's a spoiler, delete. Or what about this? And that's a spoiler, delete. But the funny bit is, it's not really a spoiler, because all of this shit is in New Hope. It's just, that's part of the story. It's just, ta-da.
It's like, I saw Titanic. Oh, don't tell me what happens at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it is. It is just like that. It's just, you sit there going, I don't care. I know that he got the Falcon. I know that he's a gambler. I know his best friend is a Wookiee. I don't care that that any of these things happened. I want an adventure. I don't want a checklist of fan wank.
Did you not know that he was a Butlins redcoat as well?
Well, you know,
did they not have that in there?
No, I think that's a sequel. That's in the sequel.
Oh, I know, could be Redcoat General Cathcart.
Ding, ding, ding. Heidi, hi. Oh, God. Anyway.
Admiral Ted Bovis.
Seriously. Yeah. There's a whole subplot about fuel which just makes little or no sense. And there's so much I want to talk about, because I want to just get it off my chest. But I don't want to talk about it in a way that I'm interested in it. I just want to sit there and kick it.
You just want to purge it from your system.
Just want to purge. Yeah, I want to take a restorative and just shit it all out. And
it's like finding a dead bird and you want to poke it with a stick.
No, that's just you.
No, it's just me.
That's just you. Okay, and on that note, let's move on to this week's film. Before I roll, which jingle shall we roll? Is it a rose tinted specs?
Rose tinted specs. I think.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, then we'll do that. Okay, then. Well, let's get on with this week's film, which is Lake Placid.
Crackling rosy tinted specs. We're gonna take us an old film and then review. That's what we'll do. We do it for you. I can turn invisible if I try real hard.
Right, okay, so Lake Placid. Well, there's not a lot in the wiki, so we won't bother too much, but it does star Brendan Gleeson, Oliver Platt, Bill Pullman, and Bridget Fonda, and a fucking enormous crocodile made by Stan Winston. The film had a budget of about 31 million, and it made at the box office, Darren?
I would say 40 million.
Okay, Elton?
31 million.
Okay, so you think it made nothing. Right, okay. Jim?
50 million and a cow on a rope.
Nice. Well, you weren't far off, actually. You made 54 million. So it did well. It did well enough to spawn not one, not two, but 3 straight-to-video sequels. And upon its release, essentially was absolutely harangued. It still has 40% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
Yeah, 40%, and a cinema score of about 4.5 out of 10.
Do we know what the score for Anaconda is on that?
I don't know, but we might get round to that one day, so we'll leave that, eh?
Because if Anaconda is higher than Lake Placid, then I think somebody needs to seriously go back and recount that.
a lot of the problems, and I'm not reading this from the wiki because there is literally nothing in the wiki, but a lot of the problems came from the marketing, which tried to promote it as a very straight-laced sort of Jaws ripoff.
Right.
So when you got essentially a comedy about a dysfunctional group of 4 people trying to capture a crocodile which was being taken care of by a sweary Betty White, it kind of missed the mark because a lot of people, I think, went in expecting a horror film and got essentially a comedy B-movie. So, there's not a lot to it, really. I mean, it was filmed at a lake and it took a couple of months and all the effects were done by Stan Winston. I think that's about the entire collection of information on it. So, has anyone not seen this film before? That's good. So we'll just go back to our usual default standard, which means, Elton...
Oh, damn it.
You're up.
It doesn't matter if I said it or not. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Well,
right.
You're always first, mate. It goes you, goes Jim, Darren, then me, unless one of us hasn't seen the film before.
Right. Well, I think I might be in a minority here.
Go on.
Because I thought it was utter bobbins.
Okay.
I thought it was fucking terrible.
Right.
I give it its due. It's hard to make a water-based monster movie without looking or referring or sounding like Jaws.
Yes.
It's really hard because Jaws has done it. It did it first, and so it's always going to be referenced. But this, it was just terrible. It was tedious. Hang on, I've got to get up the names of the people involved because, fucking hell. Bridget Fonda.
Yeah.
Oh, God. The character that Bridget Fonda is playing.
Yeah.
Just annoying me with her stinking attitude towards absolutely everything.
Rude sarcastic.
That was going on there.
Yeah.
Bill Pullman did a great impression of someone smelling something in a room. His direction is, okay, I can put my hands on my hips, or I can raise my lips up a little bit.
I think you'll find that's called being Bill Pullman.
That's all he does. Okay, well, how would you like me in this scene? Well, could you put your hands on your hips? Yeah, I can do that. Brilliant.
Bill, that was good, but not enough Bill Pullman.
Sorry?
I said, Bill, that was good, but not enough Bill Pullman. Can you be more Bill Pullman,
gotcha.
Bill? Well, I'll try.
That's all that dude does. You know, no. I always thought that he was meant to be a big star and didn't make it, but nah, you're all right. I'm quite glad without having Bill Pullman in my life. Jeez. The Oliver Platt, I think, his character again, you know, let's hang him from a helicopter and see how much he likes it, for fuck's sake.
Are you really upset by the dangling cow? Is that what's happened?
No, I'm not upset with that. I suppose, class me as a person who I didn't think this was going to be a horror. I thought it might have a little humour in it and not go full comedy, shall we say. And
right.
At points it does try to go full comedy. It never go full comedy. There's bits where it kind of works, and then bits where it's just, no, this is too far for this type of movie. And the story is just a mess. You know, we want to be a monster movie. Oh no, not anymore. No, we people saw Jaws and then didn't like sharks, and we don't want to do that for crocodiles. So we better have it a happy ending. And do you know how they made it a happy ending? They made a crocodile wear a fucking helicopter on its head. Bollocks! It gave it a helicopter hat. No, I'm all right. Just the audacity of it. And then, oh, by the way, yeah, this is kind of a monster horror movie, so we'll have another crocodile come up so we can just shoot it. Oh, okay. Well, how about that crocodile was probably trying to give Hector a hug and say thank you for catching the big crocodile because he was going around eating all my mates. And no, they go and fucking shoot him. What a load of bollocks.
Yeah, but this is the thing. There weren't supposed to be anything like that in that lake anyway. There weren't supposed to be any crocodiles in there. They're not indigenous to that area. That was his point. They swam across from wherever they swam across for years and years. And India or whatever, and ended up there. So,
don't care.
Oh dear,
I don't care. There were glimmers. The bit where you had the crocodile and Hector in the water at the same time, staring each other down, and him slowly, almost pushing him towards the helicopter. I thought that was a great scene. I thought that was really good, quite original in the water-based monster type movie, and I liked that. And I suppose there was when the sheriff pulled out the guy who's bitten in two already. I thought that was okay, good. That's kind of horror and a kind of comedy as well, and that worked really well. But then on the other scale of things, you have someone getting their head bitten off, just for shits and giggles, and it's just it didn't float my boat.
Okay, well, never mind. Can't all be winners, can they?
Yeah.
By the way,
every time I saw the big crocodile, all I could think of was fucking Jimmy Nail for some reason.
What?
I think it's crocodile shoes. It was just yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Crocodile fucking shoes. Oh, God, fucking. There's not just fucking crocodile shoes you could have made from that. You could have made fucking crocodile waders from that.
Could have made a crocodile car cover, belt. I think. Yeah, belt. By the way,
handbag, trousers, everything.
I'm not. I'm not saying IMDb's quality of trivia is going downhill, but I'm just looking at the trivia page.
Yeah.
On here. And at the very bottom of the trivia, it says, and I quote, "In Southend Odeon, a chav couple viewed the poster and were heard to say, 'What's that about then?'" Why is that? Why is that on the trivia page of IMDb?
I've had a slow trivia week. I don't know, because it's very trivial. You should have a trivia page and a very trivia page.
Trivial trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's as trivia goes. That's pretty much.
They then went on to buy a hot dog and 2 fucking bowls of popcorn.
Oh, right. Yeah. By the way, Elton, just so you know, apparently this movie, was inspired in part by the X-Files episode in season 3, episode 22, called Quagmire. Giggity goo.
Giggity,
yeah,
giggity goo.
Where the series of attacks happen in a lake, and it's thought to be a sea monster called Big Blue, but it turns out to be a crocodile.
Oh, fascinating.
Well, I thought you, being an X-Files fan, might have found something out of that.
No.
Oh, dear.
I can't believe there's 2 sequels to this. I get it.
3.
It's 3. Fucking hell, man. No, it's... I feel like I am going to be in the minority, but no, it's not very good. It's not very good at all, and I don't think I'll be returning to it anytime soon.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well... let's move on to Jim, who's just come back from the land of salties. So this is a right old return to form. So what did you think then, Jim?
Well, this is one of those films. I saw it not long after it came out, and I remember people sort of, well, not quite raving about it. That's putting it a bit strongly, but it seemed to be warmly received over here, at least. Of people, kind of, you got a similar reaction to Tremors.
Yes.
People have it felt, it's a stupid monster movie that knows it's a stupid monster movie. I was a bit more wary because I have experience with the director and his works before, Mr. Steve Miner.
Yeah.
He has made some good films and has made some fucking awful ones as well.
Yep.
A Day of the Dead remake, in fact.
Oh, good lord!
Not Day of the Dead Bloodlines.
Yes, he did.
Fuck me.
Yep, he's done some awful movies.
Mm-hmm.
Warlock.
Oh, don't knock Warlock.
I'm not knocking it. I just remember seeing that video on the shelf every time I went down to the shop.
Sam's got to eat, man.
We reviewed it. We reviewed it on this very cast back in the early days. Before the dark times, before the Empire. Anyway, go on.
Yes, I was sort of quite looking forward to going back to this because I was seeing it and thought, oh, that was amusing. Well, you know, as a modern sort of, you know, B monster movie, and it was better than Anaconda, that's for sure.
Well, show me something that isn't.
Yeah, I know. I mean, how do you go wrong with a giant snake, John Voight? And what's her name? Whose name I've completely forgotten.
Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah. It should have wrote itself, that one. But anyhow, so I was quite looking forward to coming back to this. And I have to say, when it started up, I was kind of like, oh, this is quite well made. There's some really good cinematography here. You know, you get a really good sense of the landscape, and it's beautifully shot. And it's going, oh, I forgot Brendan Gleeson was in this. And they've got, you know, some decent, you know, talent in the cast. And I mean, I still quite enjoyed it. But it did strike me this time around that this isn't actually as funny as I remember it. And it is kind of, this is the Magic Mina touch coming in here, I think. Or rather, maybe not Steve Mina. I think Steve Mina's a director. You give him a script, you give him a good crew, he can turn out a decent movie. Give him any old shit and people with 2 thumbs and less brain cells, and you'll get crap. Yeah, you know what I mean? He just directs what's on the page.
He's a businessman. Journeyman. Sorry. Yeah. Definitely gone to hire.
As I felt with this film, this time around, I felt this actually really had the potential to be a really great monster movie, like Tremors or the much underrated Arachnophobia.
Oh, which is getting
Marshall.
Which is getting a remake now.
What? Yes.
Yeah, they announced it. I hope not. I hope it doesn't go ahead. We've got to get that on the docket. Arachnophobia is so good.
But the thing is, I find it kind of this film, to use a well-worn phrase, an appropriate one for this movie. It did sort of gum where it should have bit. Watching it this time round, it's still quite enjoyable. It's, you know, it's a B monster movie, but it's kind of with the cast and with, like, you know, the quality of the shooting and the quality of the croc. It's kind of, if the script had just had a polish by someone really witty, you know what I mean? It could have been up there with, say, Tremors and just the really great monster movies. Rather than, it's a decent time filler. I think the croc actually has aged rather well. There's only a couple of moments where I thought they showed you a bit too much, and it was a bit too kind of that early CGI sort of lack of gravity to the way it moved.
Yeah, when it eats the cow.
I did a bit. Yes, yeah. But in general, though, I thought it was actually still pretty well done, and it's an impressive beast. Although not as impressive as I remembered it, though. But I think the first time I'd seen it, that was before I'd been to Florida and seen gators.
Yeah, once you've seen a real croc, you know how false this one looks.
Well, it's also the croc in this I looked at is probably 30 feet long. And I saw a gator at Gatorland in Florida, which was like 20 feet long. And it's kind of suddenly, when I first saw Lake Placid, it was like, fuck off, crocodiles don't get that big. Where now it's kind of, well, it's not actually, it's only slightly larger than some of the largest on record.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of, I know it's about 10 foot, but when you've got something that's 20 foot, 30 foot, most of its tail anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This isn't quite as big as I remembered it somehow. Not.
Yeah.
Though, unlike Elton, it wearing a helicopter as a collar did still crack me up.
It's got a helicopter.
But I'd forgotten about the second croc, and that was a bit kind of like, okay, we've done the Chekhov's gun with Brendan Gleeson's super duper badass, bomb rifle, and it's kind of, we're going to save the croc because it's not his fault. He's only been a croc, but we've still got to fire this fucking gun. So here's a second one. Blow that cunt's head off. Fuck him.
Yeah.
It was a bit kind of like textbook trying to have your cake and eat it in the script.
Yeah.
I almost admired the balls, but it was just kind of like, okay, I see. Like that, is it?
Yeah. You've got to. Yeah, we've got to show this gun being fired.
Quick, invent a second croc. Okay.
Yeah.
Throw that cunt off. Done. Job done. We're out of here.
Yeah. Well, there's no indicator anywhere else in the film that there's a second croc at all.
No, none whatsoever.
Nice. Yeah.
It's like Scream.
Yeah. Well, in Scream, you can at least work it backwards and say, well, there's, it makes sense that there's two of them because one's on the phone while the other one's stalking the house, if you know what I mean. But there's little hints and tips, but. In this,
there's no reason other than just we need to blow a crocodile's head off.
Yeah, and give you a twist.
It's just to use the gun because they showed the gun in the first act, isn't it?
That's right.
Blatantly,
yeah. Oh dear. So overall, then, Jim, thumbs up, thumbs down, or kind of middling?
I mean, it was a pleasant wait. It's only an hour and 20 minutes, and it's kind of like the cast and the general look of it is good enough. I mean, it's one of those. Actually, I wanted to give it more of a kicking because it sort of annoyed me because you realise actually it could have been better with another pass on that script. I think you could have really, made it could have been really up there with a truly great monster movie. As it is, it's a pleasant time filler. Time filler.
Yeah, distracting, but little else.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, then. Well, let's move over to you then, Mr. Barnard. How did you find Lake Placid then?
I still enjoyed it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I still... I like the interplay between the characters.
Yes.
And I get the Bridget Fonda character. I like the fact that they've made her just freak out at everything. It's not just one thing, just everything.
I've got a thing with mozzies. I hate worms. Ticks.
It's just she's a total sort of cityite. She's anything outside of the city, anything to do with nature. That's it. It just freaks her out completely. And she's supposed to be the person that's, study stuff to do with nature or historical nature.
Yeah, paleontology.
Yeah, So I like that. The fact that she's got this, it's like I'm a pilot, but I'm scared of flying, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
So I like that. I like the little play off between Brendan Gleeson's character and Oliver Platt's character.
Yes,
those two are fucking brilliant. So he hits him in the face. Go on, hit me, bang!
Aren't you supposed to say go? Yeah. Aren't you supposed to say go in karate? He said he knew karate. Yeah.
So I've forgotten how big the actual crocodile was.
It varies in size if you want an effects point of view on it.
Yeah.
Because 1 minute it's big enough and you see it from the air when you see it kind of going up to Oliver Platt and he's sort of swimming backwards. But there is no way in hell that it's big enough to use the boat, the helicopter as a collar. Which it does later on, because then suddenly it's as wide enough to hold the entire helicopter up. So it's like 1 minute it's a 30-footer, then it's 45-foot, and then by the end of it, when you see it on the back of a flatbed that's doing like 50-foot flatbed, it's like, how big was this precisely?
Yeah.
So,
I suppose there is that,
Yeah.
But apart from that, no, I generally really get on with this film. I felt like, what is it? After watching it, I did say to Reed that I feel like we should put Jaws on after this, or Tremors.
Yeah.
I just felt like watching one of those two straight after. In fact, more Tremors than anything else. I think Tremors is more in keeping with the actual spirit of this film.
Yeah.
Because the comedy that's in that, you know. But yeah, I'd still give this movie the time of day. It's I was, I'm just happy to watch it.
Oh, all right, cool.
So really, really enjoyed it.
Cool. So big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up from me.
Nice. Okay. Well, I mean, for me, I guess I'm on more your side than I am the others. I mean, I watched this, and I have to say, I didn't think I'd get a chance to watch it. If I'm honest, I went to see Solo yesterday, and I meant to watch it on Sunday, and I didn't get a chance. So I was watching it today on the train out, and then at lunchtime. And I was really quite taken with the dialogue. I think the dialogue is cheesy B-movie shite, without a doubt. And Tremors is the definite touchstone for this. It's definitely the point you look at and you go, you either go with it or you don't. And if you don't, well, there's nothing that's going to change your mind. A bit like when I went to see Evil Dead 2. When I went to see Evil Dead 2, and I'm sure I've told this story before, but when I went with my girlfriend at the time, Joanne, we went to see Evil Dead 2, and I was expecting like Evil Dead 1 all over again. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, we've not been to see a horror film together, but, so let me just tell you, this is going to be gory, it's going to be violent, it's going to be quite dark, probably scary. So you sure you want to watch this? And she's like, yeah, fine. And then she just sat there pissing herself all the way through it. And I'm sitting there like, no, it's a serious horror film. We should be watching this properly, like this sort of thing. And it's like, actually, no, they're not taking themselves seriously at all. And I get that vibe from this, is that you can either look at it as a horror film or a crazy nature film and go, it's not a very good one. There are better crazy nature films. Jim mentioned the best one after Jaws which is Arachnophobia, which is just a brilliant film.
It's absolutely fantastic, Arachnophobia.
And I'm saying that, but I've not seen it in about 20 years, so it's definitely got to go on the docket, because that's a rose-tinted perspective ever I've heard one.
That's a great B-movie.
Exactly, and that's the thing. If it's a B-movie and it's silly and it doesn't take itself seriously, you've got to sort of address it on those terms. And so for me, I watch this, and while there's never a point where I feel like anyone's in peril, and there's never a point where I feel scared or tense, there is enough dialogue, especially the interplay between Brendan Gleeson and Oliver Platt, that keeps it kind of just jogging along, nice and jolly. I mean, everything like, picking up the toe. Is this your friend? He seemed taller. Just cheesy lines like that. I never heard of a crocodile swimming all the way up from India. Well, you see, the thing is, Sheriff, is that they contain information like that in books. And just that kind of back and forth is. I mean, I will forgive pretty much a film anything if the dialogue is funny, witty, and just carries on. That's why I like the Shane Black films. If something is clicking along and making you laugh, then the plot's probably got holes a mile wide. But as long as I'm enjoying the interplay between characters, I'm happy. And seeing this after like seeing Solo, where there should have been that sort of back and forth between the characters, snappy, whippy dialogue, and there was nothing. And then going to this, and it's like, this film is like actually like 20 years earlier than something like Solo. And it's not, and it's got that B-movie irreverent vibe down pat. And whether or not you like the main story or not, is completely subjective. But I have fun watching those characters go through that shit. It's like when Brendan Gleeson goes up in the bloody trap.
Yeah.
And he's just hanging there upside down. And it's just like Oliver Platt's just looking at him going, he's got a murderous look in his eye. You okay? And he's like, just put me down. It's that whole thing. It's like, you said you're sure you're not going to hurt me. I promise I won't hurt you. And it's like, bring him down. I lied. It's like chasing around. But yeah, as soon as you see Gleason's character just being exasperated by all these sarcastic people around him, I just sit back and just enjoy the ride. It is in no way a superb film. It's a fun ride with a bunch of characters that just happens to have a large crocodile in it.
There's that bit also in town. I'm getting these flashbacks now, where he's, Brendan Gleeson's all kind of all business and all serious. Then the girl walks out of that thing. She goes, "I heard there was a monster in the lake," and you see his demeanour completely change.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and he goes, "No, it was just an accident. Don't worry about that. I heard someone got their head bit off. No, it's all fine." And then it's just like, and then they both, him and Bill Pullman, watched her walking away, and it's just like, and there's Bridget Fonda like, "Oh, for goodness sake!" It's just, I enjoyed that. I enjoy that kind of stuff. Like I say, I will if the characters make me laugh and have enough whippy dialogue coming backwards and forwards, I will forgive it pretty much anything. If I'm not bored and I'm enjoying it, that's job done for me. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Is it a film I go back to regular? No, because it is like Tremors. It is like Evil Dead 3 rather than 2. It's just something that's, if it's on, it's fun to watch and just go with. But is it an essential watch? No. And if people turn around like Elton say, and say they don't like it and they find it flat and boring and irritating, do you know what? I think that's perfectly understandable, because it is that B-movie thing. It is that kind of, when people watch films that are deliberately shit, like The Room or Manos Hands of Fate, and go, "Yay, it's great," and you're sitting there going, "What? I just don't get it." And if you're not along for the ride in those kind of situations, then you can't do anything about it. And that's why it's not such a big deal that you don't like it, because it's like, because it's gotta either hook you in and you've got to enjoy it from the off, or you're just not going to be on board and it's going to go nowhere for you. And I'm not surprised. To be quite honest, I was expecting at least one of us to turn around and say they didn't like it. So yeah, overall, I did enjoy it though. I had a lot of fun with it. The opening half is better than the conclusion when they actually have to go and take care of it. But take care of the crocodile.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact they described the cow, they're dipping her in and out of the water, and he's like, even the cow's given up. And then Bridget Fonda just looks at it and goes, "She just looks like she's just hanging there like a disappointing tea bag." It's just this cow's just like, it's just. It's pathetic. It is funny. That kind of stuff just makes me laugh.
I've got to say, that bit where they get attacked by the bear, right?
Yes.
And like quick, get away from the bear. I actually felt sorry for the bear when he gets got by the crocodile.
Yeah, and it's kind of flailing around.
And it's just like, no.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Put him down.
Yeah. The look on your face when you saw that bear. The look on the bear's face when he saw the crocodile. It's what I'm saying. It's just silly little things like that, little asides.
It's a little that was kind of like the Deep Blue Sea moment.
Oh God,
Sam Jackson, Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
So,
but it's done better in here, though. Definitely.
Oh yeah, than Sam Jackson's thing, because it was like that couldn't have been more telegraphed if you tried. I mean, he's like literally standing on the edge of the pool, going, "Now I'm going to just fuck off."
No, that got me in the cinema.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I think with this film, though, I think it, because it takes such a dramatic left turn around about halfway through the film, it doesn't feel quite right, because in the beginning it's a monster movie. We got to go out and, like Jaws, go out and get the monster, and then in the end it's trying to conserve the monster, which is fine. I don't mind it doing that way, but I think I would have preferred, instead of the Bridget Fonda character having trying to be sent out there to get her out the way of a love triangle that she was involved in. Maybe her being in the trying to conserve these types of life and being an activist and actually going out there to try and stop the killing.
Yeah. I mean, that whole love triangle thing was a bit problematic. I'll be honest with you. That's one of those things where you just sit there going, "Really? You couldn't?"
It doesn't function anything, does it?
No.
Apart from when she turns around as well, when Bill Pullman is saying, "Oh, yeah, why are you out here? Why are you out?" And she can't give him a straight answer. And you're like, "Okay, well, now you want to go to a bar with her, even though she can't give you a straight answer? What the fuck?"
No, but she does give him a straight answer in the end.
Oh, in the end, that's all right then.
Yeah, why not?
I'm just trying to look for Lake Placid on IMDb because I'm trying to find the name of the actor.
Which one?
Who plays the doctor at the beginning of that, who sends her off.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name?
I don't know.
I was looking for that now.
But, you know, I mean, the problem with that kind of thing was that's a typical 90s kind of plot. It's just like we got no real plot to speak of, but we're just throwing something in to get a situation rolling, because if we don't, we've got to think up another 20 minutes of dialogue to get her moving up there. And that's that B-movie. Again, it's that B-movie aesthetic. It's that whole thing of, like Tremors, it's like, you know, how do we get this going? Well, we don't. We just follow these two idiots and just have them go out and find their bloke stuck up a weather vane, you know, dead on a weather vane.
But Tremors finishes the film that it started in the beginning. This doesn't.
In what? Oh yeah. Well, in terms of like that particular plot arc, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, that's the thing. It's not really telling that story. That whole thing is so superfluous, as you say, and it's just why would they even go back to that? I mean, you know, if it was an 80s film, I tell you that if it was an 80s film, the head of the science who sent her up there would have come up at least once to bully her and then been eaten by the crocodile.
Oh, yeah, he would have been bait, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
I found out who he is, by the way.
Go on.
Adam Arkin.
Right.
And I was just thinking, when he appeared, I thought, George Clooney, or if wet, Adam Arkin.
Adam Arkin. Yeah.
Because he's the sort of like the more affordable George Clooney.
I think he's more of a little.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because he was actually
in Little.
While George Clooney was in St. Elsewhere, he was also in another medical drama as another doctor. There was St. Elsewhere, and there was another big one at the time.
Yeah, General Hospital or something like that.
Oh, I can't fucking remember which one it was now.
It doesn't matter. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
ER?
No.
Anyway.
Oh, sorry, George Clooney was in ER. That was
he was in St. Elsewhere.
Yeah, and he was in St. Elsewhere.
There you go. Well, things you learn, eh?
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, that's it for me. I like this film. I think it's good fun, but I understand that other people wouldn't or do or don't. I mean, it's not a film that's gonna surprise me if people don't like it. Let's put it that way. But we do have some feedback on the old Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/The Black Dog Podcast, and Glenn Kimberley. He said, I think it's a great fun watch. Giant crocodile and super sweary Betty White. Yeah, you're under a house arrest. You're not going anywhere. Well, thank you very much, Sheriff Fuck Me. Anyway, Hunter Langley said, I remember this one being a lot of fun. The last time I watched it, I was a small child, so I could be mistaken. Well, Jeffrey Mark Hyman, Heineman, said this was pretty good. This is pretty fun. Good old-fashioned small-town folks up against a monster. Gorgeous scenery too. I'd love to go there, barring a gigantic crocs, obviously. While Teresa Frog Stomper Bowles said, "I wish the crocodile had eaten the scriptwriter." So she wasn't terribly taken with it. And finally, Robert Taylor said, although I got had a couple of gory bits, it's one of those rare horror movies that feels much like a Saturday morning viewing. Great score, lovely scenery, Brendan Gleeson and Oliver Platt sort of make it worth it. But this time round, it made me wish I was watching Tremors. So another nod to Tremors over there. So yeah, I think that's about it. Really, there's not a lot else to really explain. It's just a B movie that works for you or it doesn't it, really?
That's right.
Though, personally, I love some of the quotes. I was just going to go through some of them in the IMDb about, the two deputies laying the trap. He got you to dig a trap? He paid us $500. It's a trap. I know it's a trap. You accepted money from him? Well, we took a check. Which I thought was quite funny. Yeah, but anyway, I won't go through all of them, actually. I'll save that. Right, so I think that's about it, unless anyone's got anything additional to bring up about it. No?
No, I think I'm done. Otherwise I'm just going to be kicking a dead crocodile, aren't I? So
Kicking a dead crocodile. Okay, then. Well, now it's time to tell you what our next film is, and then we'll do our wrap-ups and say our goodbyes and head on our merry way. Next week's film is a film which I think has been on and off this docket since time immemorial, and then each time we wanted to watch it, and then we moved it, and then it's been moved again. And
let me guess, is it Hottie and the Nottie?
No, it's not Hottie and the Nottie.
Oh, right, okay.
That's coming. Don't worry, that'll happen at some point.
Meet the Feebles?
No, that's the other one. Shut up! Don't start quoting all these films I've shunted about the docket, otherwise it'll all go horribly wrong. Anyway, and this one is quite an old film, and it's, in terms of genre, is a little off the range for us. But, sometimes change is good. Viewing something different is good.
Definitely.
And here's my confession. I have never seen this film.
Never?
Never. We are talking about Henry Fonda in 12 Angry Men. As far as I remember and recall, it's a courtroom drama, basically.
That's right. Yes.
And I've got no context. I know we used to have someone of this parish who was always extolling its virtues, but whatever. And so
them days are gone.
Them days is long gone. And so who else has seen this? Darren, have you seen this?
I've seen this many, many years ago.
Right, okay. And do you think it's a good film, or do you remember it being a good film?
From what I do remember this being good.
Okay, cool. Okay, are we looking forward to seeing it?
Yeah.
Cool, okay. Jim, have you seen this before?
I've seen it many years ago.
Okay. This is starting to sound like it's almost a mystery monocle.
Well, I saw it before when I was quite young. I've never caught it again for some bizarre reason. And I was probably actually too young to actually appreciate it.
Okay. Cool. So this will be an interesting watch then, I guess. And Elton.
Never seen it.
I kind of guessed, but I feel like I have to ask, sir, just in case. One day,
that's fine.
One day when we get round
to
G.I. Joe, we'll all have not seen it except for you.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, man. So there you go. So next week's film will be the courtroom drama 12 Angry Men, and of course you can leave feedback just like the guys did this week on the Facebook group under our banner, which I'll put up shortly after posting this, and you can find that at facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. Right, but before we go, let's have a little bit of a sort of cross promotion. So Jim, do you want to tell us about your wares and what's going on in the good old land of Hypnagoria? I nearly said Hypnobobs, and then it came out Hypnobor.
Hyboria.
In the land of Hyboria.
Well, yes. currently, I'm just in the middle of a little 3-part series, following on from an earlier 3-part series, looking at various cameos, homages, and outright shameless knockoffs of Creature from the Black Lagoon, with the current episodes just being such classic non-films as The Creature from the Haunted Sea and The Beach Girls and the Monster.
Nice. Sounds like an evening in. Right.
Definitely something.
Okay, fair enough.
Creature from the Haunted Sea, I think, is actually one of the worst films I have ever seen.
Wow.
And that's saying something.
I was going to say, you got
really saying something.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Cool. And what about you then, Elton? What have you got going on?
Well, I put 2 episodes of Shonky Lab out this week. One was myself and Ollie Peters talking about paper rounds. And because the World Cup is starting very, very soon, so by the time this comes out, it'll be tomorrow it starts, myself and Lee Harvey got together and we were talking about our memories of the World Cup. So you can find all that over at rogue2media.com. And while we're on the subject of other podcasts, I would highly recommend everyone go to iTunes and give Hypnagoria and the Black Dog Podcast a rating and review over there, please.
Oh, bless you! You're in full cross promotional mode.
I am. You can't stop me at the moment.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. Cool. Well, so there you go. And obviously do the same for all Rogue 2 Media podcasts. That's the Grand Prix podcast, Shonky Lab, and
I just need Grand Prix ones, really.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's got the most listeners and the least amount of reviews on there. That's weird.
That is a bit bizarre. Okay, then. Well, there you go. So Flappy Paddle Round in Circles podcast needs your help. Go over there. Get Flappy Paddling. You
don't have to listen to it, guys. You don't have to listen to it.
No.
Just review it and download it.
But
otherwise, my kids can't eat.
Yeah, but but if you don't rate and review, the ghost of Ayrton Senna will turn up with his flat face and go rate and review. Too soon?
Yeah, too soon, man. Too soon. By the way, we're doing that next year. It's 25th anniversary next year, so we're doing it next year.
Rate and review. Okay, fine.
Honestly, I can't slap.
Nicky Lauder jokes.
Pardon?
Louder.
Pardon?
Fucking louder.
There goes Nicky Lauder. Oh, and there goes Nicky even louder.
Yeah. The Nicky Lauder haircut available at any Esso petrol station. Anyway. Right. So, with all those bad taste Grand Prix jokes out the way, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much, Jim. Thank you, Elton. Thank you, Darren.
You're most welcome.
Okay. And we shall see you all next week for 12 Angry Men.
Not to be confused with 12 Angry Monkeys.
Yes. Or
if it's got Bruce Willis in it, you're watching the wrong film.
That's right. Or 4 Grumpy Old Fucks, which is basically the other alternate title for this podcast in territories which don't translate Black Dog. Right, okay. So, by the way, the listener in North Korea has vanished from our map.
Yeah, that's because he's busy talking to some American bloke at the moment, apparently.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. Well, noble leader. See, I'm not saying that we sorted out world peace, but, we did ask him not to do anything more with those bombs, and now all of a sudden, look what's happened. So, any other requests that you'd like us to do for changing the world order, just give us a buzz. We'll let you know. We'll sort it out.
Black Dog Podcast. Good for your health.
Good for world peace. Or not. Anyway, right. So, that's about it. So, thank you very much for listening. And, yes, we shall see you all next week for 12 Angry Men. Until then, take care. Tatty bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
much to it.